All right. Okay. Let me tell you something, folks. I just heard this story and it hits home for so many people. I mean, think about it. This woman right here, she's just trying to figure out her grocery bill, right? Simple enough. But what she finds out is mind blowing. I mean, she's looking at her receipts from last year, the year before, and now, and the numbers just don't add up. Her grocery bill has doubled, and she's not buying caviar and champagne. She's just buying basic necessities. I mean, how messed up is that? She and her husband has been grinding for years, increasing their income 6 times over. And what do they get? Not much of an improvement in their quality of life. I mean, it's just like chasing a carrot on a stick, but the carrot keeps getting smaller and smaller, while the stick just keeps getting longer. Just listen to her to see what she got to say. It's another TikTok rant on how the inflation is crazy in 2024, March 2024.
Work, and he asked me how much we were spending on groceries this year compared to last year and the year before. I told him I had no clue, but I could find out.
I place all of our orders either on Instacart or on Walmart Plus.
Since the month of September is not all the way over, I decided to go back to August for year 21, 22, and 23 to compare the difference. In 2021, we did not have a Walmart Plus membership, so I was only ordering from Instacart, and the total that I spent was $746.55. In August of 22, I also did not have a Walmart Plus membership. I joined in September, the month after this. Our groceries went from $746.55 to $1,493.08. This year, I do have a Walmart Plus membership, so I placed orders on both Instacart and Walmart Plus with a total of $1,650.92. Mind you, this is just the month of August for 21, 22, and 23, but our groceries have over doubled.
These six figures are not six figuring like they're supposed to. They're just not. My wife and I have worked our asses off for the last 10 years and increased our monthly income 6x. 6 times. We make 6 times more now than we did 10 years ago. And you know what our quality of life has done? Barely increased this much. Whoa. 10 years ago, we were dreaming of making the money that we are now. And if we had the life that we could see ourselves living with that amount of money, was not the life that we're living right now. It absolutely ain't. It ain't. And I'm finna go eat a bowl of ramen because
My husband and I were just talking about that recently. We make more money than we ever have, and it doesn't even feel like it.
No.
Let me just say something. I'm really sick of this shit, okay? Because I just got a new job about a month ago. Previously, I was making $65,000 a year. Yeah, it's okay for some, but it was never enough money for me. So I got a new job. Now I'm making $85,000 a year. I got my first paycheck, and I was like, what the hell is this? But I was like, okay, maybe something's wrong. Let me wait for the next paycheck. I got the next paycheck, and it was even less than the previous one. So I went to my HR manager and I had a meeting with her, and I'm like, is the IRS garnishing me? Because I know I owe $2,000 to the IRS. But she was like, no, the IRS is not garnishing me. We went over my paycheck. We went over, like, everything I filled out, and everything was correct. The government is taxing me $700-800 per pay period, and I have 2 dependents. I mean, what? And then she's going to tell me, well, did you have a huge increase in your pay rate or the salary that you're making here than you did at your previous job? And I was like, yes. She's like, oh, well, sweet.
So I had a conversation with my boomer dad and boomer uncles about why people didn't want to work anymore, and I said something that I think is true, and I want to share it with you.
Okay.
First of all, let me share with you some of their condescending thoughts. One of the points my boomer relatives said is, why do people expect work to be good? It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be comfortable. That's why you call it work. We didn't expect it to be comfortable. We labored in uncomfortable situations, and we did it in order to make a living. We didn't expect luxuries. You guys expect luxuries. And let's just derail the conversation twice here for a second. First of all, who is telling them that we want luxury? And that's something that for some reason we're unwilling to put up with uncomfortable situations. All of us worked through college. All of us. I don't know a single person who didn't have a job, who didn't work almost full time all the way through college, even though they were going to college full time. I did that. Almost everybody else I know did that. Secondly, most of us are just asking for healthcare and affordable housing. I don't understand where the concept of luxury is coming from. A place to sleep and have some money to buy food and then maybe go out every once in a while is most of what people are asking for. And not to be terrified of future and retirement and dying poor and lonely.
Honestly,
so let's talk about this generational gap here. You have these boomers telling millennials, why do you expect work to be comfortable? Well, I don't know. Maybe because they are not living in the 1950s anymore. I mean, where could you buy a house on a part-time job flipping burgers? That's a difference, in my opinion. And don't even get me started on this inflation. Everything is getting more expensive. But wages, they're stagnant. I mean, they are not keeping up with the wages. It's like trying to swim upstream in a river of, molasses. I mean, it's really, really exhausting. Anyway, let's keep on going. I mean, this woman is working two jobs just to scrap by. Let's listen to her.
if I knew then what I know now, instead of saving up, to help my kids go to college or whatever else, or to buy that first car, I honestly, if I would have known how much the world would change from when I grew up to when my kids were going to be adults and grow up, I would have saved all my money and literally bought a huge plot of land and let my kids put RVs or tiny homes on it, for sure. Like, if I had a crystal ball and would be able to look and see that there's no way that my kids would struggle this much with this economy. Our wages just are not keeping up. They're just not able to make a sustainable living. Now, some of them are. I'm not saying generally, so don't come at me and be like, oh, I make this much and I'm perfectly fine, or move. Instead of just telling people what they're doing bad, I'm looking at my kids and saying they both work hard. They're both doing everything that I told them to do. Get a good job, work hard, and you should have what you want out of life. Well, that's not happening. So we as parents need to accept that and go, you know what? It is not 1988 anymore. It is 2023 and the world has changed.
How's your morning going? About to have a mental breakdown. How about you? Nice. I'm in the middle of a mental breakdown already.
The fact that this scene from the 1990s went viral this week just goes to show how awful our economy is. I mean, in this scene, he buys Wonder Bread, milk, toilet paper, a cling wrap, basic necessities, and it cost him $19.83. Guess how much these carrots cost. Now, granted, this is from Erewhon, but still, $24. Not everyone shops there, but a lot of people do shop at Target. So I added 3 things from Kevin's cart onto my cart at Target, and I got a detergent, Kraft's mac and cheese, and a whole gallon of milk, and this was a total of $20. As this realtor has stated, this wouldn't be an issue if the income rose along with the cost of living, but that is not the case. Rent prices and the cost of living steadily increased, but the income stayed the same, and here we are in 2023. Look at that difference. This doesn't even put shrinkflation into consideration, which is the idea that our food items and pretty much every product that we're used to buying has shrunk in size. Here's an example. 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck at this moment, and about 76% of Americans have stated that their income is not keeping up with inflation. And you've got thousands upon thousands of TikToks of Americans and Canadians crying and saying that they don't know how to live anymore. So many people are living paycheck to paycheck and struggling. They can't even afford basic necessities. And then we have the government sending money to everywhere and everything except their own citizens.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
I finally figured out yesterday why ordering my weekly groceries always puts me in such a bad mood. For our almost 5 years of marriage, we have done a monthly budget every single month. I have been so intentional at sticking to that budget. I used to aim to keep our weekly grocery bill to $100 or less a week, but since having our daughter, who's now a toddler, that has grown to about $120 to $140 a week. But lately, I am so frustrated because I cannot stick to that goal. It is not because of a lack of planning from myself. I am so intentional about shopping what's on sale, what has a coupon, or getting the generic item whenever I can. And this haul, while I know it's not small, I was very meticulous about putting together, and it still cost me almost $170. Mind you, that's literally just food for 4 dinners and then our breakfast and lunch items. Over the last 5 years, our income has grown so much that you'd think I'd be able to spoil us with some of those fun, fancy drinks or get the really cool protein snacks. So if you're like me and you watch these restocking videos of these people getting all of the really fun, exciting snacks and you're like, wow, how are they affording that? Me too.
$100,000 a year is the new $50,000 a year. And next year, it's going to be worse. pretty soon 200k a year is going to be the new 100k a year.
Yep.
I mean, it's just going to get worse,
Of
right?
course.
So what does that tell us? It tells us that we can't ease up. We can never feel like we made it. And I'm sorry to break
It's
it to
really
everybody,
sad.
but we don't get to relax. Not in that way, right? Because once you get to a certain amount of income, you should always be looking to see how you can make even more. Because inflation is going to keep doing what it does.
Of course. It's been
Right?
happening like that for a long time.
And people get upset and they say, well, minimum wage is da 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 da. And, they need to understand that we can't do. Yes, you can't do anything on minimum wage. Minimum wage was not made for you to reach the stars.
$1 million 1993 today is now $2,070,000. Inflation in 5 years will probably devalue half of everyone's money listening to this in their 401ks, IRAs, and their soft saving accounts. Like right now, the world is a wreck, and their only solution to the devaluation is they're gonna have to work harder. Over the last 20 years, 2002 to 2022, salaries have increased 27%. But the cost of a home has gone up 148%. In other words, like our cost of living and lifestyles is not keeping up. Average person drives a $60,000 a year car that has a $50,000 a year salary with over $100,000 of student debt, 60% of America living check to check. We have a problem. And being busy is not the solution, and getting another job is not the solution. You have to graduate and develop more of the Gen Z millennial mind that says there's got to be a smarter way. It can't be the immigrant way of just work harder, because there is something to say for hard work, but if it's not smart enough hard work, then it's stupid work. It's dumb work.
So I know that this is not a problem unique to me, especially at this moment in time in the world, but can inflation stop? Can we just do that? Can we?
I mean, so yeah, when she says, can we just stop the inflation already? I feel that, man. I mean, I think a lot of us do, but until things change, we gotta fight. We gotta keep fighting, keep pushing back against the tide, because if we don't, we will. That's the reality of it. It's not pretty, but it's the truth. And until we start addressing these issues head on, nothing is going to change. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's raise awareness. Let's demand better, because that's how we make the difference. Thanks for tuning in to the OB podcast today. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section below. See you in the next one. Cheers.